well, I left from Florida first, and when I came to Florida, I found transitional housing, and then we didn't have anywhere to live in Florida. So we were just looking for, somewhere to go that we can find help at. And so we came to Atlanta, and after he came into Atlanta, he didn't have a place to go. So that's how he ended up on the street. We left Florida and came here as a family. And when we came here, me and the kids found shelter that we could live in, but he was not allowed to live where we were living at. So he ended up on the street, living on the streets, and in a shelter in Atlanta Union Mission.
It was like a strange land because we really weren't from Atlanta. So it was like we had to find the information that we needed ourselves, and it was a big challenge that we had to undertake to get to this part, because it was me staying in the shelter, in a man's shelter, and at 4:30 in the morning we have to get up out the shelter and go somewhere, even if it's just on the other side of town. We have to find a way to get on the other side of town with no money or even with no transportation. So it was a real challenge. It was a year that we was not in the same house together. So it was like certain days I could come there and see them, and at 9 o'clock I have to go back to the man's shelter, and even then I have to come at 6 o'clock because all the beds to be filled up, and then I'll be living on the street because they intake at 4:30, but they close the door around 6.
It was a struggle for us at first. It was a real struggle for us at first, even being apart from each other, not being able to, be with each other at night. It was winter time, when he was in the cold, like some of the coldest nights, he was out there, I would have to drop him off, and just keep going back to where me and the kids lived at. There were a time when we had our own place. We went through some issues in our marriage, which we fell apart for a little while, and when we fell apart, we both kind of, went through some issues. And when we came back together, basically, we lost a lot, during that struggle. We lost a lot during that struggle. That's what brought us, into homelessness. And so as we came back together, we just really decided within each other that we were going to make things work out, and that, whatever it took, that we were going to make it, we weren't going to split apart. We were going to do this thing together. I can say we had to mature in ourselves. We were young when we got married. We just really we were without direction in our lives. You know what I'm saying? And as we, just kind of grew, we had children, to take care of, and we just decided within ourselves that, it was time for us to, grow up and come together, to take care of our family and stand by each other. So it was just different events that, brought us back together and brought us to a point, of maturity that, we just really needed to get ourselves and our lives together for ourselves and for our children.
We weren't stable because our education, we didn't had training to go further in life, because our training was really high school, and actually ministry gave us a chance to get our education level up so we can get a better job to make a better life for not only ourselves but for our kids also. When I came here, I took a real hard look in myself and the people. When I was homeless, I seen people wearing nice suits and driving nice cars, and I looked at my own self. And I asked myself, what was the biggest reason that I couldn't be that person? And then I looked at all the jobs that I had in my life, and I found out there really were dead-end jobs. And working over 16 hours a day and just barely making it still, and giving my loyalty and giving everything what I had to try to take care of me, my wife, the kids, the bills. It was just a war that I couldn't fight. So I went to different agencies to help me get my education where I can support not only myself and my family, and also to learn more things about my community that also can help. Because all I thought was a better job was going to lead me out of the problems that I was going through, and I learned that that's not always true. I also had to learn my community, so I also started being a community advocate and working with people and understanding the problems of the community, and slowly but surely I started conquering my own problems and helping people that had problems themselves that wasn't from here, that was from different places around the country that came here and had the same dream that I had, trying to make it for not just for themselves, for their family, and I did it, and it made me feel good that I had a chance with Action Ministry to make it out of where I came from, and really knowing that my future is brighter than where when I started. I'm taking classes to eventually be a, a teacher in Atlanta school system. Right now, I'm working at a daycare that also a slash pre-K, and I'm learning every day how to be a teacher. I'm a teacher assistant and I'm part-time, but I make hours like full-time, and they teaching me ways that I can be a better teacher. Also teaching me to be a better parent and understanding of children better. To have a career is not just a paycheck. It's also it's the enjoyment of a job, not just getting paid for. Cause the more you enjoy a job, the more you learn, and the more you learn, the more successful as a person in a community you can be. So I learned a lot for just even when I give my time. When I started as interning, it helped me even understand the path that I want to go, and it showed me what I want to do, not doing it for because how much it pay and how much I was getting out of it. The way I'm going, it's only going to get brighter, not for me, but for my kids. So I'm so appreciative and so grateful and happy and humble just to be the way I'm at.
We have, came a long ways already. I thank God for where we're at and what Action Ministry has done for us. When I came here, I didn't have education as well. I've been able to obtain my cosmetology license, so I'm a master cosmetologist now, as well as being licensed as a minister. I really am looking forward to going into business as a cosmetologist, taking that license that I obtained to go into business. I'm about to in April start a school of ministry so that I can get an associate's in ministering. So it's a lot that I have plans for, and I know that because that I was able to come here and do that I will be able to move a little further and just keep going and further. And just it's all about just growing, and being able to go further in life. And like he said, like my husband said, just not looking back. Not looking back at, the past, not looking back at our failures, and just moving forward, in life from here on out. In our personal relationship with one another, we can go back. We had a lot of issues and a lot of things going on, but the love was always there, and the drive, to be together was always there. And it just took us to open our eyes to realize, how much we loved each other. And when you come to a point of your life where you feel like you're about to lose everything, and you're about to lose the one that you love and your family members, and you can look in your kids' eyes and just see that you're letting them down, then it puts things in perspective. It puts life in perspective, and so it just brought us to a point, and it brought us that